You know the drill, right? Go to college, land a good job, get a car loan, then a huge mortgage, work for 40 years, and, if you're lucky, you get to retire. We're all handed this script, this supposedly safe path to a successful life. But what if it's not safe? What if that entire script is actually a financial trap? Well, in today's explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on this very idea, the scripted life fallacy.
Wow. Okay. So that's a heavy question, isn't it? It's really the core of what we're digging into today. What if the path that everyone follows, the one that seems so secure, was actually designed to benefit the people who made the map and not you, the traveler? To really get our heads around this, the source material uses this brilliant little story.
So let's meet Arthur. Think of him as our main character, an everyman who represents pretty much anyone who's been told to follow the standard life plan. He's been given what everyone says is the perfect map to success.
Arthur's map promises to lead him to a place called the Golden Vista. And this, of course, is that comfortable retirement we're all told to aim for. The path looks super clear, it looks safe, it looks totally guaranteed. His first big checkpoint, a river he's got to cross.
So, to get across this river, the map tells him he has to pick up a burden. It's called the Heavy Stone, and it's got a 5-year timer stamped right on it. And yep, you guessed it, this stone is an auto loan. It's sold to him as just a tool he needs for the journey, but right away it slows him down. It literally makes him stoop from the weight.
All right, so he's already lugging this stone, and what's next? He reaches the Shelter Mountains, and to get shelter, the map says he has to take on an even bigger weight, a massive bag of boulders, and this one has a 30-year timer. This is his mortgage. At this point, the guy can barely even stand up, but the map keeps insisting this is the way, this is the only safe way to live.
So after decades of hauling these burdens, the timers finally run out. The weights just dissolve. He's free, but he's old. He is completely exhausted. And his grand prize, the Golden Vista, turns out to be just a tiny little patch of grass right on the edge of a cliff. His journey is over, and he has almost no energy left to enjoy what he worked his whole life for.
Arthur's story is such a powerful way to look at this. But now, it's time to connect those heavy stones and bags of boulders to the cold, hard numbers in the real world. Because this is where you see the true, staggering price of just following the script.
The source gives this whole system a name. It's called the interest trap, and you can think of it like the hidden fee for using their map. It's not just the money you borrow, it's all the extra you have to pay for decades. It's a fee that is specifically designed by the map makers to keep you on their path for your entire working life.
So let's translate this into real money. That heavy stone, a $30,000 car, doesn't actually cost you $30,000. After you're done paying for it, it costs you $38,000. But the bag of boulders, the house, this is what's truly wild. That $300,000 house, by the time your 30 years are up, you've paid over $600,000 for it. You have got your house twice, once for your family and once for the bank.
Let that number just sit there for a second. $308,000. In just these two examples, that's the total extra fee. That is the cost of the trap. It's an absolutely mind-boggling amount of your work, your time, your life energy just handed over for the privilege of following their directions.
Okay, so if the official map is rigged, what do? How do you find a better way? Well, the argument is pretty clear. You have to tear up their map and start drawing your own. And the good news is, there are practical, actionable steps to get started on this unscripted path.
So this unscripted path really has 3 core ideas. Step 1 starts before you even think about the big purchases. You choose to build valuable skills instead of taking on crushing student debt. You start the journey without a weight already on your back. Then, step 2, you take the cash path for cars. And finally, step 3, you follow the ownership path for homes.
The cash path for cars is so simple, it's kind of revolutionary. Instead of taking on that heavy stone, you just buy a reliable used car that you can afford with cash. Then, and this is the key, you take what would have been your car payment and you pay it to yourself into savings. In just a couple of years, you can use that cash to upgrade to a way better car. Again, with cash. You just completely avoid the trap.
And now for the big one, that bag of boulders. The ownership path flips the entire script on its head. Here, the goal isn't just to get a mortgage, it's to destroy the mortgage. It means you stop listening to the advice to buy as much house as you qualify for. Instead, you save up an aggressive down payment, buy a more modest home, and then you attack the principal balance with every extra dollar you have. The goal? To be completely debt-free. to own your home in 10 or 15 years, not 30. That frees up decades of your life.
You see, when you put all these steps together, it leads to this huge shift in your thinking. It's not just about using different financial tactics, it's about aiming for a completely different destination. It's got redefining what that golden vista even means.
The script sells you a finish line, retirement at 65, and only after a lifetime of making payments. The unscripted path, it has a totally different goal, freedom. And it's a freedom that you don't have to wait for. It's something you build piece by piece, with every good decision, starting right now.
I mean, that really says it all, doesn't it? The real reward isn't some destination you get to when you're too old and tired to enjoy it. The reward is the freedom you build along the way. It's the difference between renting your life from the bank and actually owning it, owning your car, owning your home, and most importantly, owning your time.
And that brings us to the final thought, which is really a question for you. This isn't just a theory to think about. It's a personal challenge. If you look at your own map, your own life, what's the first part of that old script that you're ready to reject? What's your first step toward drawing your own map to freedom?